popping, y'all? So right now I'm just cutting up some lemons, right? Putting them in my water bottle. This bottle's dope, right? Saratoga. Shit's hot. But no, I do this every day because lemon water in the morning, pretty good. Sometimes I'll put some cucumbers in there, and just get some extra vitamins, nutrients. But it feels good to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm trying to like diet more. I've been doing like intermittent fasting too. Like I don't eat before 12 o'clock, and I cut off at like around 8 at night, right? So I'll try to get like 16 hours in of fasting, but it works, it really works, and you definitely start to lose weight. I didn't realize how much of it was like diet for a long time, because like I've had like a fluctuation in weight gain for like the past, like I would say like 3 years, 4 years, right? Like 2019 going into 2020, I had started to gain like a lot of weight. It had to be like COVID and shit, you know what I mean? And I was in a relationship, was toxic, so that things happen, right? I'm sure a lot of people went through that, but I'm trying to, so y'all can see, I'm trying to get this lemon in here. But towards like 2021, 2022, I started to like lose a lot of weight. I got like really skinny. But I wasn't lifting weights. Like I was just like walking, definitely fasting a lot. I was on a lot of semen retention. Those who know about it, shout out to y'all. Shit definitely works. But then like 2023 kind of started to put like, I had some things in life happen where I had to make some adjustments, and I definitely started to put on a little bit more weight. As you can see, I'm a little bit thicker than I normally am. Like, I've never like eclipsed the 200 mark in weight ever until like last year. I would say like probably like this time last year I started to get like big, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucking 200 pounds, like damn. So I started going to the gym, right? So hold on. So I started going to the gym every day. Well, try to go like 4 times a week. But now I want to do like 5 days a week. I used to go like 6, 7 days back when I was really in shape, like maybe like 2016, 2017, 2018. I was like going basically every day playing basketball. So, but now like, and I also had a job where like I was on my feet like all day. So I was burning a lot more calories back then. But now I'm like mostly at home, working from home and doing like stuff at the computer. Give me 1 second, hold on. Had to get another lemon, you dig? Yeah, so like now I'm doing a lot of things at my computer, so I'm not moving around as much. So I think that's also the reason why I did gain a lot of weight. But it's not like a bad where I can't lose it. You know what I mean? Like I can drop this, And since I've been working out, I've put on a lot of muscle, and it's just like the diet is what's like got me like not losing the fat. Like I built muscle, which is good for burning fat, but since I'm not dieting the best, I didn't lose fat. Like my body's percent fattage is still pretty high. So now I'm gonna start dieting, and then having like like I said, I've been doing intermittent fasting, so the fasting helps, but just choosing better meals, being able to have that discernment of, all right, instead of having something that has a lot of sugar and sodium and stuff in it and carbs, just choose something that's not the opposite of that, some protein, some lean proteins and stuff like that. More vegetables, more like alkaline rich foods, you know what I mean? So, you know, making those daily decisions is really what's key, what I've found out, and doing the things that, in the past that helped me get to my goals, just doing those same things and eliminating some of those habits that help me do the opposite, so I'm working on it, but it's just a daily grind, you gotta really be on it every day. Some days are better than the other, but at the end of the day, as long as you got the information, it's all that really matters. You just have to apply the information. See, some people, they don't have any information, or they have like false information, and that can be detrimental to your decision makings each and every day. So the key is to find the right information and apply it. And it goes with anything. It doesn't have to be just about health. It can be about anything in life, you know what I mean? So understand these simple practices and how to manifest stuff in this world and stick to them on a daily. For so long I struggled with that, trying to be consistent with stuff, but I realized, like, at the end of the day, like, I just need like backstops, you know what I mean? Like things that hold me accountable to get things done. It's like if I don't get one thing done that I really want to do, then I feel like my whole day has been like kind of screwed up. So making sure that I set time to do certain activities to get those things done, and as long as I get that one thing done, let's just say it's, I do music, so let's just say it's making a beat. Just make one beat a day. At least I made one beat. I prefer to make multiple beats or work on certain projects for longer periods of time. But if I did one thing with music today, then I'm happy. I'm like, all right, at least I got one thing done. So being able to schedule those backstops, like let's say for most people, it's like going to the gym, you know what I mean? No matter how many things you have to do that day, just plan an hour out of your day to go to the gym, so that's a backstop that really helps people get back on track, you know what I mean? So and then you find those like those bits of motivation to get that stuff done. Sometimes you gotta trick and hack your mind on doing things, you know what I mean? It's like having that mental discipline to be able to just say, damn, well, I don't really feel like doing this, but I gotta do it anyway. So being able to like trick your mind into doing it, it's really crucial to manifesting stuff. But things take time too, it's like the weight that I put on, it didn't happen in like 2 months, it happened over a year, so just like anything, it takes time to manifest stuff. So if you want to lose weight, it takes time to lose weight. If you want to start a business, it takes time to start a business. It doesn't just happen the next week, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can start the blueprints in a week and get it done, but like for it to see any type of success and any type of traction, takes time. Developing a skill, it takes time, like patience, being able to work at it every day and not get, like, you're gonna get frustrated, but being able to work at it and not quit is really what's important. So try to do that each and every day. Putting a lot of lemon in this too, but yeah, so that's just been the focus for today. And you just got to be able to stick with it. Hey, what's going on? Huh?
Gourmet.
I'm just making some lemons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Get something better than my own. Okay, try to-
Hold on. Gotta chop this up. Alright, so right now, chopping up this lemon. And got this. Get in there. Get in there. There we go. Alright. Got the lemon in there. Put a lot of lemon in this one. Yo, these bottles are dope. I like these bottles. I'm about to start like collecting these. Like I prefer to drink out of a bottle. Like I don't like plastic. Like when I drink water, like I always drink out of a glass, preferably a wine glass. But yeah, having you know, bottles or something that's not plastic to drink out of is the best way to go. Because people don't realize, like, you know, all the microplastics that are getting into your body, like, bro, it's having an effect on, like, your brain and, like, your health. So, you know, we've allowed plastics to be so, you know, big in our society, but we don't realize the danger in having plastics. You know what I mean? It's because these companies that make these products, they're mad cheap, and they don't want to use glass or, you know, the safer, what do they call it? Hold on, I don't want to cut myself. They don't want to use like stuff that can be, you know, recycled back into the earth. You know, they want to use the cheapest material that's gonna maximize their profits. So they don't care about us, and they don't care about the environment. They don't care about what these products do to the environment. As long as they're making money, that's all that matters to these people. So, you know, that's why you have to do your due diligence and understand what is at stake when you use these products and you accept this stuff. See, you know, these stuff wouldn't be allowed if the people didn't accept it. We allow these products to come into our lives, and like for example, we don't need cell phones. The world has existed for a long time without cell phones, right? But we've allowed cell phones become such a big part of our society that people just accept it, not knowing the dangers in having cell phones. You know, people don't realize there's small amounts of radiation that comes out of a cell phone each and every day. So if you're holding your cell phone excessively throughout the entire day, you're exposed to radiation. A small amount, it's not going to kill you right away, but over time it will. So, we hold on, give me one second. So these small amounts of radiation, they're gonna have an effect on us, our bodies, come time in the future. And it's only been, you know, roughly 20 years of us having cell phones. So we don't really know the side effects of what these phones are doing to our bodies. And that's why I'm really like pushing people to study what this world is really about, you know? That's why I use my platform to tell people, hey, look into these things, you know? Don't just accept it because the TV is telling you to accept it, you know what I mean? Don't just go along with it because the person down the street and the people at your job are going along with it. Like, that's nonsense. Hold on, I gotta prop y'all up somewhere. Maybe right here. Yeah. But yeah, so it's just like it's a lot of programming going on in the world. A lot of people don't realize what's happening and government, what's happening, in the countries across from them. There's so much like misinformation being put out there, whether it be on the internet, whether it be on the TV, or whether it be through word of mouth. So it's important that we understand history. It's important that we understand where these things come from and why they're here. You know what I mean? Like, think about all the microplastics that are in the ocean. What is that doing to our water supply? Because you gotta remember, there's only 1% of fresh water in the world on Earth. So most of the water on Earth is salt water that we can't drink unless we do the desalination process. But that takes a lot of time and energy and resources to do. So that means we need to protect our fresh water supply. But if our fresh water supply is getting contaminated with microplastics and any other type of pollution, then we're screwed. Like, I don't think people realize like how screwed we are if our fresh water supply gets completely contaminated. And our bodies need water to survive. So, people really gotta start thinking about these things. Like, this is not okay to go along with what this system has said it's okay to do. That's because there's no laws against dumping products in the street and in the rivers. Doesn't mean it's okay to do. So these companies, they take advantage of that, and a lot of them do it because they're ran by evil people. I don't even know if half these people who own like majority of the wealth, I don't even know if they're human, honestly, because it's like, how can humans be so cruel to other humans, and how can humans destroy the place that they're supposed to live on? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, to me personally, I believe if you have a human heart and a soul from God, then there's no way you can be this evil. It's got to be some extraterrestrial shit. It's got to be some clone. I don't know what it is. People will call you crazy for saying that, but like, think about it. Like, logically, like, it makes no sense for this much evil to be happening and be going on for this long if it wasn't anything but demonic forces in control. That's what you want to call them. I don't know, but for sure there is a negative side of people that are destroying the planet, and they have the most control and resources to do it. It's like there's a positive and there's a negative to everything, and the negative is definitely in control right now. And you have a lot of people who are in denial of these things. They don't believe that, these companies, these corporations, these governments, they definitely have my best interest. Why? Because I pay money to them. No, that has nothing to do with it. And a lot of people think just because these people look like them, they might share the same skin complexion or language or heritage, they think that they're on their side. None of these people are on your side. Anybody who has $1 billion, like they legit own $1 billion, they're bad people. Like, there's no good billionaires in the world. Like, I don't believe there is, because if there were, they would be able to change the world, but they can't, because for you to have $1 billion, you have to be allowed to have $1 billion. You can't just make $1 billion on your own. It's not like Jeff Bezos made $1 billion on his own. He was allowed to start that company. He was allowed to create an empire like that. Why? Because he's in with these people who own the world. Some people want to call them Jews. Some people want to call them, Nazis. Some people want to call them this and that. But at the end of the day, it's the church. It's the foundations of religion that have complete control of just about everything. And it goes back thousands of years to how religion controls people. Whether that be the Catholic Church, whether that be Judaism, whether that be Christianity, whether that be the Islam. These people are controlled they're controlling the world through religion. And these people are not holy and spiritual people. They might be spiritual, but they're not of the good side. They're of the bad side. So at the end of the day, you have these governments and corporations being controlled by religious institutions, and these religious institutions are not of good faith or not good spiritual practices, right? They're using, whatever religious texts there are, they're using them to their advantage and using it like a playbook to basically control and manipulate. And when you have people like that who are using the innocence of others people, like, I'm not saying none of the religions are true or false, but even if there is, I believe there's truth to these religions, right? But let's just say there isn't any truth to them. These people will make you believe there's truth, and they will have you fight over which one is more true. So now that's wrong. For anything that, first of all, any religion that involves money is clearly demonic and not of the real spiritual practice. Now, again, I believe there are religious truths in every religion, but I think, again, all of them come from one religion or one source of spiritual knowledge and information. It's not like there's different religions that are true. It's just that all of them have one thing in common. For the most part, there's a creator, and then there's us as the sons and daughters of the creator. Now, there's just different branches of, who the creator is or what the name is. If the creator had children, if the creator had a son, you know what I mean? Like, there's just different stories and branches of it. But at the end of the day, I believe there is a creator, and the creator made us, and we're here. But what else did the creator make? Did the creator make like other species? I'm not saying like animals. I'm talking about like other species that can communicate and are advanced like us. Did the creator make that too? Did the creator make other worlds? Did those other worlds figure out how to come to our world? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a good possibility that's what is going on, that there is other species out there that are like us, that might look like us, but they're just not from this world. There could be a whole nother Earth that looks just like our Earth in a whole nother realm. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, all these religions are just playing off the idea of a single source of information, that there is some type of spiritual truth. There is some type of spiritual good and bad in this world. And if you don't choose a side, then you're going to, basically end up in the middle and be, washed away. But at the end of the day, where do you stand? Whether it is you believe in a higher power or you don't, you have to stand somewhere. You have to fight for the good, or you have to fight for the bad. A lot of people, they choose the side of the bad because it's easy to choose the side of the bad. It's easy to follow the bad crowd. It's easy to follow, what the negative people are doing. But it's hard to follow the good crowd. It's hard to have a good standard about yourself. It's hard to live each and every day in a high standard. It's not easy to fight for that side. So that's the struggle that we're dealing with here. And with mainstream music and pop culture and everything that comes with it, it's pushing the negative side more than the good side. Again, I don't believe in any type of religion. I don't believe in one religion. I just believe that all the religions come from a single spiritual truth. And they're making you fight on which one is the truth. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It just matters if, are you on the good side or are you on the bad side? And if you can't understand that, then you need to do some more spiritual awakening within yourself. You need to start studying these religions. You don't have to believe in them. You just got to study them and understand where they come from and what they're about. Then that's when you can come to terms of, all right, these people are in control because they did this and that, and this back, in the history, they did this to these people, and now that's how this country was started. That's how this religion is started. All right, so find out where the good and the evil lies. What happened? What was a good thing that came out of religion? And what was the bad things that came out of these religions? So you have to do your own research. You have to make your own decisions, and you have to have your own discernment. The thing is, Most people are not concerned with that. Most people care about the sports game happening. Most people care about what the latest celebrity just did, who got in trouble, who had sex with who. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares about the things that need to be cared about. They don't care about where our food supply comes in. They don't care about what's happening to our water and air supply. They don't care about none of that stuff. Why? Because one, they trust that the government will take care of it, and they just think so little of themselves that they can't handle those situations, those topics, so they just let somebody else do it. Like, the other person is more equipped to handle and make these decisions. They're not. At the end of the day, we're all capable human beings of making our own decisions. So when it comes to these major topics, like, let's say in America, like taxes, right? There's no reason why every person who pays taxes in America doesn't have a say in where these tax dollars go. There's no reason why we can't have a say. The reason why we don't have a say is because there's no public voice to say, hey, we need to have a say in where these dollars go. If we don't have a say, then I'm not giving you money. I'm not giving you 30% of my income. I'm not giving you half of my income. Like, get out of here with that. But again, there's nobody raising a concern about it. They might mumble it and talk about it behind the backs, but they're never going to come out and say it out loud. You know what I mean? They're never going to voice their problems, because a lot of people are in a shell. A lot of people are living in a survival mode where they don't want to jeopardize what they have because they need to feed their family, feed themselves, or their living situation. So you got a lot of people who are scared to, make a stand for things and voice their opinions. And I don't like that, because at the end of the day, what's the point of us being here on earth? Is it to pay taxes, to pay bills, to slave away? No, it's not. The point is us to discover more about who we are. Why was your soul chosen to come here on earth in this specific time, in this world? You know what I mean? Who knows how long life has been going on here on earth? We have no idea. Science tries to explain it, but at the end of the day, science, mainstream science tries to tell us that the Big Bang is a legit theory on how the earth came about. The Big Bang is nonsense. That's literally like a fairy tale, and science tries to push that idea. So we have to realize that there's a lot of information, there's a lot of knowledge being hidden from us, and we don't really know what's going on. But for sure, if you have discernment, you'll know that we are not supposed to be living here paying bills and slaving away. That's the last thing we're supposed to be doing. We're not tax cattle. We're not supposed to be here just to push the time by working, clocking in and clocking out. Like, that is not that is not what we're supposed to be doing. Your soul is supposed to be here to express itself, to leave its mark on this earth, and then go on to whatever else this world has to offer for us. Because I believe our soul never dies. I think it just keeps living on, whether we're being reincarnated here or we go on to another life. I don't know what it is, but at the end of the day, your soul is going to continue to live. And whatever this world, whatever this life is, I want to make sure that I make an impact. I leave my mark. I leave my signature. I engrave my signature on this earth where it can never be erased. And the only way to do that is through the minds of the people. People need to remember you. People need to know what you did and what you brought to this earth. So there's a reason why these celebrities are put in front of your face, because the people who control all this stuff, they want you to know and remember certain people. They don't want you to remember the person who tried to create, cars powered off gas. Powered off water. They don't want you to remember that person, that guy. They don't want you to remember him, because if you remember him, you're going to pass those thoughts on to your kids and their kids, and one day that idea might sprout, and that might become a new way of life. They want you to remember the P. Diddy's, the Kim Kardashians, the LeBron James. They want you to remember these people, when these people have done nothing for us. They have done nothing but serve the agenda of the cabal that runs the world. Some people call them the Jesuits, the Catholic Church, who are partnered with the Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, the fake Jews, Some people think they run the world. I think they definitely have a hand in it too. I also think that there's families even older than them that control all of that. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can't really point the finger at any of those families. Like, people like to say the Rothschilds, but it's not the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds is not even a real family name. It was a made-up name. So you can't point the finger at these families like the Orsini family or those other Italian families, the 13 families. There's a lot of them. I think there's some Asian families in there as well. But you can't point the finger at them. But you can point the finger at the Jesuits and the churches, the Jews and the Catholic Church and the Pope. You can point the finger at them because they have a paper trail of things that they've done in history that can prove, okay, yeah, these people are probably in charge of what's going on. Now, who's above them? I think it's like a pyramid. You know what I mean? The all-seeing eye of the pyramid. There's a demonic force that sits at the top of that pyramid, and then you got these families that serve that. You know, we've seen it in a lot of TV shows and movies on how that could be the case. For example, one really popular anime is called One Piece. That's basically what that show is about. It's like these pirates, right? It's about pirates that travel the ocean to go on an adventure and find this grand treasure called One Piece. But there's a world government, and the world government controls the Navy, the Marines who fight these pirates and arrest pirates. The thing is, the world government in that show was created by 19 families who banded together, I think about 800 or 1,000 years ago, you know, in this show. And they basically fought against this ancient empire who had advanced technology and had liberated the world from like tyranny. They fought against them and won, and they erased like that history of humanity. They like burned all the books, they burned everything, so people wouldn't remember what the old civilization used to be. So they band together, the 19 families, and they live in like these holy land, and basically they have the protection of the Marines. So they pay the Marines to protect them and to guide the world and basically govern the world, you know. And they tax people, they tax all the people around the world, all the citizens and countries all have to pay a royal tax to these people who live lavish. Like, they live like kings and queens, and they're really bad people. Like, they're arrogant, they're fat, they're overweight, they're like, they literally depict this in the show. Like, if any of these people who come from that royal bloodline come to like one of these small towns or villages, they literally have the right to like take them as slaves. Like, if they see somebody, they'll take them as a slave, and they're legally allowed to do that. If they see somebody that like crossed their paths, they can shoot them dead and nothing will be done because they're protected by the world government. So, you know, these shows, it's crazy because they show this stuff and people think it's just cartoons, but really it's stemming from truth. And the families that run that world in that show, they all serve. So there's like elders in the show, right? The 5 elders. The 5 elders are the ones that are at the top of the world government, but above them is like this like ancient like demonic like being. I don't know what it is. The show, like, they just like kind of depicted it in the latest episodes of it, but basically like those 5 elders who represent like the royal families, they serve this like one being who's like at the top, that sits at the top of like the pyramid, and he's like hella old, like basically like a zombie that shouldn't be alive. But it's just crazy how they're showing this stuff in the show. Like, they serve a demonic force and they're ruling against the world, and these pirates are supposed to be like the ones who are trying to break tyranny and break out of it. You know, being a pirate means that like you're going on an adventure to be free and to not abide by the world government's rules. So the show is really interesting. I like it for the you know, the animation is cool, but the storyline is like, it's incredible how this stuff is written. And a lot of the Japanese cartoons, they tell a pretty great like their storylines are crazy. Like, it goes over a lot of people's heads. People think, oh, it's just weird cartoons. Like, no, it's not. Like, any type of American cartoon that we've seen. American cartoons are dumb. They have no like backing to them, no real like strong storylines. But these Japanese cartoons are crazy. Like the storylines are so well written, and like they inspire you to think and to do. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like a lot of these storylines and the characters inspire you to be a good person, to be a hardworking person, to be someone who, you know, is generous and loves their family and their friends. Like that's what these characters are built upon. Like they're built on these ideologies. So it's very interesting to see this stuff put in plain sight and people not get the message. So like when I view anything, I look for the message in it. I don't just look at it for as face value. Like, oh, this is a cool little show or movie. Like, no, what's the message in this movie? Why is this being presented to us? Why are they giving us this information? What in this show or documentary or movie are they trying to relay to us? Like what message is it? So that's what everyone needs to have, like a mind like that, to think about why this stuff is presented to us. Why is it pushed into our face? You know, why is there so much funds and resources behind these shows, the Netflix and, you know, Hulu? Why is this stuff getting pushed to us? Sorry, and come inside. It's cold outside, but yeah. So that's how I've been thinking for the past like few years. But like most of my life, I've always thought on that type of like time. You know, I've always had thoughts about, you know, why are we here? You know, what's the purpose of going to school and learning all this stuff? Come to find out, half of the stuff we're learning in school is useless knowledge and also falsified, whitewashed knowledge. So, but anyway,